Okay, hello everybody. We are beginning the 10th Perek now, which starts on 90b on the bottom. Mishnah teaches where this Perek is going to be more about carrying. There's a lot in this Masechet about carrying outside and still the measurements for carrying outside. This Perek is going. This daf is going to be very interesting in terms of subjective views, how our own ideas, what's going on in our minds, can actually affect the minimum requirements. So we'll see a lot of conceptually interesting cases. Okay, Mishnah teaches Hamasniya lezera ולדוגמה ולרפואה ועושיו בשבת חייב בכל שהוא וכל אדם אין חייב עליו אלא כשיעורו. Generally, the minimum size for a seed, I just have, one seed is going to be like a handful, a fig's worth, because that's usually what people plant. But let's say someone's a little strange and they plan to plant just one seed. All right, and they're holding on to it, they're storing it to plant one seed. Or if it's going to be for a sample, they're making one seed, then maybe they sell seeds and they want to show off. Here's look at my good seed. So he'll save one seed even just for that. Or for medication, right? And even that small amount is important. So therefore, that small amount is important to him subjectively, even though he's a little strange. And most people would not store one seed. If that person who values that one seed takes it out on Shabbat, that person is chayav, even for a little bit. However, for everyone else who normally carry out a geret, a fig's worth of seeds, if they're going to plant them, then that would be kishi ora. Or other shiurim, like we saw, there are various for various seeds. Chazar v'chniso eno chayav ela kishi ora. Let's say a guy's going out, he has this one seed, he thinks that it's good for medication, and he's carrying it outside because he's planning to use it as medication. He meets his friend, Dr. Hasson, and he says, hey, I'm going to use this. And the doctor says, no, that's fake medicine. It's not going to work. And then he says, well, then you know what? Now it's not important to me anymore. And so then he carries it back home and throws it into the storehouse, right? So that person, eno chayab, is patur, because he didn't do the full carrying while he had it in mind that it was something important. So if he changes his mind in the middle, then it reduces the status, and so it's no longer important. Okay, thank you, Dr. Hassan, for getting him off the hook. It's not chayav korban. Okay, that's the Mishnah. Now, first we start off the Perek with a linguistic question, which often happens at the beginning of a Perek. Lama le lemitneh hamasniya litneh hamosi lezera udugma v'lirfuah chayav bekol shehu. What if you have to say it's a case of someone who stores that one little bit of a seed or one seed? Why don't you say, if I carry a seed because I plan to plant it, then chayav. What does it matter if I stored it before or didn't store it before? The most important thing is I'm carrying it for that reason. So Abaye answers is coming to add another chumrah. I stored it away a while ago because I'm going to use it for medication, and then it's 1 month ago I forgot even why I stored it, and now I'm going to carry it. I'm going to carry it out, and I'm not sure why I'm carrying it out. So I might think, I might think that my original intention that I forgot about now is canceled off because I don't remember it. This come teach us that the original intention is what counts, and so eventually while I'm carrying it, I'll probably remember, that's what I was going to do with it, and so therefore we stick with the original intention. Okay, this is introducing a theme that's going to come up again later on in the daf. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shemuel. So Shemuel is explaining, commenting on the Mishnah, and says Rabbi Meir. And by the way, this is Stam Mishnah, and we have a rule: Stam Mishnah, anonymous Mishnah, is the opinion of Rabbi Meir, and that seems to be underlying the question here. So that Rabbi Meir would say even one piece of wheat, one single wheat seed, is chayav. Okay, Peshita, isn't that obvious? We just said in the Mishnah, Kol Shehu, any amount. Any amount means even one. So why does Shemuel have to say that? It's right there in the Mishnah. We know that's the Mishnah's Rabbi Meir, and we know he says that. Kol Shehu Tanat. Mahodetema, Kol Shehu la poke me gerogeret. Ulolam adika kazait kamashmalan. I might have thought that the standard amount is a get a fig's worth. And I might have thought if I'm a little strange and I really value things, and then I can lower it to a kazait, but that would be the minimum, right? And so even when the Mishnah, when it says kol shehu, it doesn't mean literally even a tiny piece. Kol shehu means less than the get it, but still more than a kazait would be the absolute minimum. That's what I might have thought. And so therefore, Shemuel comes to teach us that according to the Ben Meir, even one kernel, which is certainly less than a kazait, would be chayav. Kol shehu means literally any amount. Matkifla Rav Yitzchak bere de Rav Yehuda. Ela me'ata chishev lotzin kol beto hachiname dela mechayev ad mapek lechule. We have a funny question. It says if you're going to go by a subjective measurement, then I can bring you a crazy case that's all the way the opposite way. What if I have intention? I'm going to remove everything in my house in one shot out to the street. Okay, that's my intention, and then I move out like half of my house. So are you going to tell me I'm patur because I didn't fulfill my intention? No, you wouldn't say that, right? So so how come here you don't say the same thing, that this is a weird guy, crazy person who's carrying out one seed? We should say he's insane, and no one has values that. Or why don't we say the same thing? No, hatam batla da'ato esel kol adam. In that case, his strange behavior or strange intention is irrelevant because of everyone else's. We end up with is three different categories of intention. The middle one, which is the standard amount. Most people take a survey, right? Family Feud, the number one option is they're gonna carry, between this and this amount, a get it, or a little more. That's how much people value. Then you have a second category, which is a minority. It's like the last answer for Family Feud. A minority of people, you will use it, have even a kazait. So it's within the realm of reasonableness to value a kazait. But then there's something beyond the bounds of even a minority, and only someone really nuts would carry around, would try to take out their whole house or anything like that. So those people, we don't consider their subjective view anything significant at all. All right, and now to the next phrase, B'chol adam en chayavin alav ela kishiuro. Other people, even if this one person, really values this one seed, somewhat for everyone else, it's the normal amount of get it. Matnitin de la Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. This cannot follow the opinion of Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, who we met a couple of times before saying this, so we'll see it again here. The Tanya. Kelal amar Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar kol she'eno kasher lasniya. ואין מסניעים כמוהו, והוכשר לזה והצניעו, ובאחר והוציא, להתחייב זה במחשבתו של זה. If you have something like, it's a little bit, just a seed or something, that is not generally stored, and most people would not store such a thing, but this person is weird and he does store it, then even though he's storing it, and I don't think it's important, if I carry it, I am chayav, because his subjective opinion transfers over to me, right? It's kind of like, I might buy a painting that I hate and don't value, but I know that on the market, it's valuable to someone else. So therefore, it's valuable to me because I can resell it, right? So a subjective value of something can actually transfer over, and someone else who carries it would be chayav. That's his opinion, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. This Mishnah said the opposite, that for everyone else, it's the normal amount. Amarava. Here we get to a couple of fun and interesting cases. Amarava Amarav Nachman Hosika Gedogeret La'achila. V'nimlach aleha lizri'ah. Right, let's say I'm carrying some seeds to eat. I have some bizit in my pocket. I don't know, I forgot it there from last week. And so now I'm walking on Shabbat, or I put it there on purpose. And so I'm going to eat them. And then as I'm walking, I say, I'm not hungry, but look at this patch of ground. I may as well plant them, and they can grow some pumpkins. So I changed my mind in the middle, or the other way around. I'm going to go and plant them, and then while I'm walking, I get hungry and I want to eat the bizid. So hayav. So in this case, hayav, even though I had two different intentions. Now we ask, Peshita, zilhacha ika shiora, zilhacha ika shiora. Of course, I mean I have the minimum requirement no matter what. I carry to get it. A fig size is enough for the minimum, whether I'm going to eat them or whether I'm going to plant them. So obviously, what's the difference what I think right, I should be chayav. Mahodetema ba'ayin akira v'hanacha b'chada machshava v'haleka kamashmalan. I might think, see, carrying, you need two actions. You need to transfer it and you need to put it down, right? You have to do both of those things. Now, if I'm transferring it, thinking I'm going to eat them, and put them down, thinking I'm going to plant them, I might think that those two intentions separate the two actions. And this teaches us that the intention does not separate the actions because it's the same measurement either way. Okay.
It's interesting that
Someone saying something? That's what Rava said.
I don't know if you hear me.
Z, go ahead.
I was saying it's interesting that you would not be hayab for, and in the middle of it, you intention change. And all of a sudden,
I'm not hearing you well. Sorry,
you are hayab for it.
I can't hear you well.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll ask the question later. Okay. So Ba'e Rava, I'm going to use that excuse from now on all the time. I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. Okay. So that's established. That's what Rava said in the name of Rav Nachman. But now that he brought up that interesting case, Rava is asking more variations, which is typical style of the rabbis as they're arguing and teaching to bring up all kinds of different cases. And so here, let's see how interesting this is. Ba'ai hasi gerogeret lizriya. You got to concentrate on these. They're subtle differences. This time, I carry out just a half of a fig. Now, half of a fig is less than a shiur, so it should be okay. Lizriyat for planting. As I'm carrying it outside, maybe it's raining or there's a lot of moisture outside, and now it grows. And so now I look at it and I say, you know what? I don't want to plant this. I think I'm going to eat it. Mahu, what would be the situation in that case? So if you say in the case before that no matter what, there is a shiur both before and after, so then fine. In this case, although since I'm planting it, and any amount that you consider that you're going to plant is chayav, but in this case, since my final intention is eating it, and when I carried it out to begin with, I was not going to eat it, and it was less than a shiur for eating. So you see, I did not have one continuous intention with one continuous action. When I first brought it out, I thought I was going to plant it, but really in the end, I'm going to eat it. And so when I first brought it out, it was small. And so therefore, I never brought out a shiur that would require eating. So therefore, they are separate actions, and you can't combine my taking out with my putting it down. Would you say that? Or dilma kevan de ilu ishtik v'la chashiv aleh michayav amachshava dezri'ah hashtanameh michayev. Or would you say that I follow my original intention all the way through? That if I had just been quiet and not rethought it, and I took this half a gerogeret, and I took it outside, and I planted it, I would have been chayav. Therefore, we remain with the original intention, and my new intention later does not undo the original intention. So that's a dilemma. Now we're going to add to the dilemma. Let's assume the second one, that these would combine. And we go by the original intention. Let's say I take out this fig and it's nice, I'm going to eat it. And as I go outside, it's all dry and the sun goes on it and it shrivels up. And now I say, eat it. It's no good. I'm not going to eat it. You know what? I'll plant it. Do you say in this case, I'll go by the original intention, and since now I took out something that was a shiur for eating, but now it's shriveled up, and so therefore when I put it down, I should be patur because I didn't put down something that is edible. And so you go by the original intention. That's what you said, right? Or do you say I can go by the eventual intention and say he's hayav, and because now eventually I put it down and I put it down to plant, and there is a shiur for planting, then retroactively when I took it out, it was also a shiur enough for planting, and so I have one continuous intention going by the later one. If I say the second, batar hashta azlinan, I go by the current intention, the later one, mechayev, hosika gerogedet lachila, vesamka vechazra vetavcha mahu. I took out something that's a full one, and then as I'm walking, it shriveled up. But then it got bigger again. Then what do we say? Yesh dichui linyan Shabbat or en dichui linyan Shabbat? Dichui is a concept that comes up in other places like korban. If korban becomes pasul, then even if the reason why it would have been pasul is undone, it still remains pasul. In other words, once something is pushed out, it's pushed out for good. So do I say that then now that this shriveled up in the middle, then it became patur, and so there's no continuous carrying out and putting down with something that's the right size? Or do I skip the middle and say, since I carried it out when it was a full size, and in the end I put it down when it was a full size, even though in the middle there was an interruption, no, we buffer that interruption and we go right to the end. Teko, we leave the standing. Teko, some people think stands for Tishbi Yetares Kushyotenu Bayotenu. The Eliyahu Navi will come and answer the questions. That's fun and interesting. But actually, it's a regular verb. That just means the question stands. There's not necessarily one objective answer to this that Eliyahu Navi will come in and present. But rather, these are borderline cases that are very important in defining more precisely the concept, and they're good educational exercises for students to have to build arguments this way and that way. So when we say the question stands, it means that we should continue to argue these cases, not because they're very practical, but rather because they help students grow in their Torah and argumentative skills. All right, we're not done with the questions. This is another interesting dilemma. Nachman, the same Rabbi Rava asked his teacher, Zarak kazait teruma lebayit tameh mahu. I took a kazait of something that's teruma. Teruma has to be in when you're tahor, when it's tahor. And I throw it into a house on Shabbat, and the house is tameh. What is the law? Remember, it's a kazait, so it's less than a get it. So it's should be. I mean, theoretically, it should be patur. Now, so let's see. Mahu lemai. What are you talking about? Ilinyan Shabbat. Kegerogedet ba'ainan. If you're talking about Hilchot Shabbat, I'm throwing something that's less than a food size, and so it should be patur. So what's the question? Ilinyan tum'ah kabesa chalin ba'ainan. In the realm of tum'ah and tahara, any amount can become tameh, but only a kabetza can make other things tameh. So this kezayit by itself, if it becomes tameh, it will not transfer tumah. However, if it joins together with another kezayit and makes a kabesa, then it can not only receive tumah, but also transfer tumah to something else. So what are you talking about, when you're asking about this kezayit? Shabbat. I'm talking about Shabbat, but I want to combine these two shiurim in an interesting way. Kegon de'ika pachot mikabesa ochalin. In the house, there is already a kezayit of tameh food. And now I'm throwing in this kezayit, and it's going to attach to the other one, and now create a new entity that's like, glowing red, which is that this new entity that has kabesa can make other things tameh. So you see, it's not significant in itself for food, but it is significant in causing a change in a halachic reality for the tum'ah status. So the mistaref linyan tum'ah mechayev nameh linyan Shabbat. So do we say, since it combines and is significant regarding tum'ah, so now it becomes significant also regarding Shabbat, which is a really interesting concept that one area of halacha can generate significance for another area of halacha. It's not just, if I like this and I use it as medicine, but the halachic system itself is a language that transfers. Or do we say separate things? For Shabbat, you need food, and food is get it. And don't bother me and bring in tum'ah where it's not relevant. Amaleh tenetuha. Sort of Nachman says, I have an answer for you. You didn't think it was going to have an answer, did you? Abba Shaul omed shetei alechem velechem apanim shiuran kagerogedet. Shtei alechem, that's the 2 loaves that we have in Shavuot, or lechem apanim, the 12 loaves that we have in the Bet HaMikdash every week. If I carry a bit of it out, the minimum amount to be chayav for carrying is a get or get it, like all food. Well, that's normal. V'amai. Now, why would we say that? We have another reason why not. Lema medele einyan yoseh bechazayit le'inyan Shabbat nameh bechazayit. Regarding the laws of eating kedusha outside, the kohanim who eat this bread have to eat it in the kodesh. If they take it outside and eat it, they're chayav. How much are they chayav if they eat outside? A kezayit. So I might have thought that since the lechem apanim, if I take it outside, would be chayav for eating it as a kezayit, and that might transfer to Ilchot Shabbat and make Ilchot Shabbat also a kezayit. But Abba Shaul didn't say that. He said it can get it no matter what. And so we can learn that it would be a get or get it also regarding this case that he asked about Tirumah, and that does not combine. That's Rav Nachman's answer. And now we challenge that. Says, is that really the same? Shabbat lo mechayev ad mapek l'rshut harabim. In the case of the lechem apanim, I have two steps to get to the rshut harabim. I go from the kodesh, right, and then I take it out to the ezrat nashim. So I took it out of the walls, but it's still in an enclosed area, which is a lower level. Maybe it's karmelit, but it's not a rshut harabim yet. And so it went through a middle ground, so that the kezait that you're talking about that I'm chayav is in the middle ground, and I'm not chayav carrying in the Reshut Harabim until I take it outside that. So therefore, it's not a comparable case. And in this case, I'm standing in the middle of Reshut Harabim and I throw it directly into the house where the other Tirumah is. And so it's going directly from one realm to the other. So therefore, you might say, in the case of Shtei Alechem, it would be two separate realms because it has to go through a buffer. But in this case, it might be one separate realm. So we actually do not have a final answer to that. Okay. And the next phrase in Mishnah says, "Chazar v'chniso eno chayav ela kishi'oro." A person changes his mind because it's not a good medicine. You know what? I'm not gonna use it. And so now he doesn't think that little bit is important anymore. Now pishita, of course, he should be patur because it's not important to him anymore. So he's carrying half of his carrying. It was not important. Oh, it's not a case where he just got rid of it and threw it out. He took it back to his storehouse and he put it in a place where it is distinguishable. And so, in other words, an outsider seeing that wouldn't know, does he still want it or does he not want it? I might think since it's in a distinguishable place that you could find it again, then he probably has his original intention in mind. And this teaches us that since he threw it there and was not so careful and his mind did change, we go by his changed intention. All right, now we have the next Mishnah. Mosi ochalin untanan ala iskupa. Yes.
A question on what you said. But isn't he chayav the minute he walks outside with it?
Walks with who? The Bet HaMikdash case or the regular case?
No, this last case, the last part of our Mishnah. The guy that takes it out and then he decides he doesn't care about it, so he brings it back in. Is he chayav for taking it out, but he's not chayav for bringing it back in? Or he's not even chayav for taking it out in the first place?
Well, he didn't put it down yet. He has to motzi and then just put it down.
Oh, there was no hanacha in Reshut Harabim.
Right.
So when he comes back in, since he no longer considers this a significant amount of stuff, so he's not chayav. Okay.
Right. Okay. Okay. Someone takes some food out and puts it at the doorstop, at the threshold. So there's some space between his door, the Reshut HaYachid, and the street. So you try to imagine if someone had like a very low porch, right? A porch that is not enclosed and is not for a high, but a very low porch. And so this would be in between category. The Gemara is going to say it's a karmelit. So someone takes some food out and puts it on that porch area, threshold, and then he goes back later and takes it from there and puts it into the Reshut Harabim. Or someone else does it. Ben shosian acher, be patur, because he separated his work into two different parts, and so each one is patur. Here I took it from Reshut Yachid and put it in Karmelit, into Drabanan, and then I took it from there and moved it into Reshut Rabim. Each one by itself is patur, and so combined is also patur, as long as I put it down in between. This is good, it's practical. If you can get an Amazon package on Shabbat, if the Amazon guy comes and puts it, just on the doorstep, and then you just open the door and, reach in, right? So then you only did half the work. The other guy did the other half. Okay. Or you could do both. You just put it down in the middle. This patur, but still doesn't mean it's mutar.
So is that
okay?
I can quote you on that.
First, find me at a Shut Harabim. Then I'll give you a psak halacha. קופה שהיא מלאה פירות ונתנה על איסקופה חיצונה. Okay, now a different case. Let's say I have a basket. And so now, see, the basket is half in, half out. I take the basket that's full of fruit and I put it on the outer edge of the curb, right? The curb that's right overhanging the street. Afal pi sherov perot mibachutz patur. Even if it's overhanging and most of the basket and most of the fruit is in the street, but some of it is still inside, patur. Ad sheyoseh et kol hakupa. You don't go by the majority. You need the whole thing to totally exit before it can go out. Okay. This reminds me like when we're driving on a long trip, right? The people in the front seat get there first, and the people in the back of the bus, right? Or do you say no? The whole bus gets there at the same time. Okay, so here we say the whole bus gets there at the same time. Hi iskupa mai. What is this? What is the status of this porch area? Ilem iskupa l'reshut harabim patur. If the iskupa itself is reshut harabim, then the second I take it out to the porch, what do you mean patur? I should be chayav. I brought it from reshut yachid to reshut harabim. Maybe this porch area is like a shut yachid. Then the second part, when I take it from there and put it into the street, why should it be patur? I'm taking from the porch, which is reshut yachid, and taking it to the street, reshut rabim. So which one is it? I told you the answer before. Iskupa karmelit. It's this between category is reshut rabim midrabanan. So technically, it's interesting that if it was really only midrabanan, then midoraita would be the reshut hayachid. And so technically, I'm carrying from the porch, which is the reshut hayachid deoraita, to a reshut harabim, right? The deoraita. But I see karmelit is not exactly the reshut harabim the rabbanan. It actually has a deoraita status as an in-between area. Okay. So v'hakamash ma'lan ta'amad enach bekarmelit halanach bekarmelit mehayav. And so this teaches us that the reason why I'm patur is because I stopped in the middle. I brought it halfway, I put it down, and then I left. I come back and I picked it up and put it out to do the rest. It has to be 2 steps. Okay, so that's the law. But if I did it all in one shot, right? If I was carrying it all the way through, then obviously I'd be chayav. Not so obviously is machloket. Matlitin de la keben azay de tanya hamosi mechanut leplatya derech stav chayav uben azay poter. If I don't put it down and I'm carrying a basket or fruit all the way from the store, you imagine like in the big plaza in Venice, the stores all around, and then there's a place where people sit, and then there's the reshut harabim in the middle. So I buy something from a store, and I go through the middle area, which is karmelit, and then I continue walking out to the main plaza, which is reshut harabim. That would be chayav because I didn't stop in the middle. But Ben Azai says patur in that case, because even though I'm walking, at some point while I'm walking, both feet are on the ground, so that's like I stopped, even though I'm still moving. But you could take a still picture there, and officially I stopped. And so therefore, he thinks that even walking is considered stopping in the middle. Okay, good. Kupa shehi mele'ah. Okay, now we're going to get to an extended discussion of these two interpretations. So make sure to keep them in mind well. We have Chizkiah and Rabbi Yochanan. Chizkiah mar Chizkiah lo shanu ela bekupa mele'a kishu'in udlu'in I have this basket, and this law only applies if it's full of something long, cucumbers and long gourds that go from one end to the other end of the basket. And that's why when I put it half in, half out, so then I'm still patur because the gourd itself is not all the way out. Right? In other words, it's not really about the basket, it's about each piece of fruit. So therefore, if it's mustard seeds, which is a lot of them, and then some of them are totally out, then it would be chayav, right? So he says that the people in the front of the bus do get to great adventure first. Alma kasavar eged kili lashime eged. The binding together, the basket of a utensil is not considered a binding together. We go by each individual item inside. Rabbi Yochanan amar afilu mele'ah hardal patur. And he says, even if it's all mustard seed inside, I'm still patur when I put it half in, half out. It goes by the entire basket. Only when the entire basket leaves the Reshut HaYachid, that's when I'll be chayav. Al makasavar eged keli sheme eged. So he says, I go by the whole basket. I consider it one, even though there are many things inside. Okay, those are two opinions. We're going to go back and forth and discuss them. Amar Rabbi Zera, matnitin de la Chizkiya daika, udela Rabbi Yochanan daika. You know what? The wording of the Mishnah can't fit either one. How so? Chizkiya la daika dekatani ad sheyosi et kol hakupa. The Mishnah says, I'm not chayav until the entire kupa leaves the stoop and goes into the Shut Rabim. So why am I chayav? Tamad kol kupa, ha-kol perot patur. It's only because the whole basket. But if all the fruit, imagine there's probably a little space between the edge of the cucumber and the edge of the basket. So you could have a case where all of the cucumbers are in the Shut Rabim, but the edge of the basket is still on the stoop. And so in that case, it says until the whole basket leaves. So therefore, it sounds like it goes by the basket. Alma eged keli sheme eged. Then, therefore, we should go by the whole basket, not by the individual fruit, because it says the whole basket has to be out. And it can't be Rabbi Yochanan either. Rabbi Yochanan lo daika dekatani afa pi sherov perot bachutz. Tama derov perot hakol perot afa gav dagida kupa megavai chayav al makasabat eged keli shel lasheme eged. He's learning it from the other section of the Mishnah that says even if most of the fruit is in the street, still patur. Well, why most of the fruit? If you say most of the fruit, it means not all of the fruit. So if I have that same case where all of the fruit is out, but the edge of the basket is still on the stoop, then the halacha says, right, it should be chayav, because it said most of it, but not all of it is patur, but all of it would be chayav. So therefore, we don't care about the basket. That goes against what Rabbi Yochanan says, that we follow the whole basket. Okay, so being very nitpicky in the words of the Mishnah, and we say, look, we can make a derivation that it can't be like either one. Okay, ve'ela kashya. Well, now we really have a problem because it's the Mishnah itself that's kind of self-contradictory. I can't interpret it this way. I can't interpret it that way. A lot of times the Mishnah gives two cases, and the cases in between then clash. Oh no, don't worry, we can answer it both ways. The teres is like to solve a problem, and we're rereading the Mishnah. We're not really changing the words, certainly not in this case. You have to understand what it's talking about. When the Mishnah is saying that until you have to bring out the entire kupa in its entirety, that's what it's talking about, long things, that the cucumbers that take up the whole space. But if it's small mustard seeds, then we consider it as if the whole thing went out. Even if the whole thing didn't go out, it's as if. In other words, you go by the fruit, and when the Mishnah says you need the whole thing out, it was just saying as if, right? That most of the fruit being out is like the whole thing being out. I know it says rov perot, but that's talking about a usual case. You're right. Even if technically all the entire cucumber is out, but there's still a little bit left, it's still patur. That's what the Mishnah really means, and so don't read into it so literally. Okay, we have a question, an objection. מוציא קופה תרוכלין ונתנה על האסקופה החיצונה, אף על פי שרוב מינין בחוץ פטור, עד שיוציא את כל הקופה. סקדתך בשררה קשיא לחזקיה. There's a question on Chizkiah. He's the one that said that we go by the individual items in the basket, not by the whole thing. Now, if I have this tray or box that sellers would use, peddlers would use, and it has lots of different herbs and spices in different compartments, and this Baraita says, I am not chayav, if I took this out, and I put it on the outer curb, half in, half out, even though most of the spices are outside, patur. Now, why patur? Right? If you go by the individual spices, which Chizkiah said, then some of the individual spices are outside, like the mustard seed, right? And I'm not chayav until I take the whole thing out. So I must be, at first we're assuming that these are bundles of spices that are in different boxes. And that's where we have the question. Oh no, we're not talking about little bundles, but rather long spices that take up the whole box from end to end, like the cucumbers. And so therefore there is never a time when one entire spice is outside. It's always half in, half out. Okay, so he makes a nukimta, and that way he can resolve the problem. Metiv Rabbi bar Abaye. Okay, another question. Hagoneb kis b'Shabbat hayav. שכיוון יתחייב בגנבה קודם שיבוא לידי איסור שבת. Okay, this is an interesting case. I go and I steal a purse from someone's house. I break into someone's house. I steal a purse, and now I take it out. I say chayav, even though we have a general rule that if I do something that requires two punishments, kimle midraba mineh, then I only apply the bigger punishment, the higher one, right? If that happens at the same time. And so, right, if okay, so in this case, I'm still chayav to pay back the thing that I stole, even though I also carried, which is chayav mitah. Why? Because I already became chayav for stealing before I carried it outside. In other words, when I carried it over the threshold, I already stole, but I didn't carry yet. So I got stealing first, and then the higher one, chayav mitah, came second, and so therefore I have to pay back, and then I'll get killed. Okay. Okay. However, if I do something different, if I drag it along and exit the Reshut HaYachid, then I'm patur because I didn't take possession yet, because I'm only dragging it along, so I didn't steal it yet, and so I drag it along until I transfer it to Reshut HaRabim, and then only then, at the very same moment, I take possession, and I'm chayav carrying and stealing, and so therefore, only the carrying kicks in. So remember, next time you rob someone's house on Shabbat, make sure to drag everything out. Okay. The same applies to a Target store, anything you're going to riot or loot, make sure to drag things out, so you won't be. Okay. Isal kada'atech eged keli sheme eged kadem le'isur geneva le'isur Shabbat. But if you think that we do follow the entire basket of the whole thing, which is what Rabbi Yochanan said, then even in that case, you see when I drag it out, the mouth, the opening of the purse is towards the Reshut HaRabim. So if I would stop and freeze it right there, I could reach in and take out the money from the purse, and so it's already in Reshut HaYachid. In other words, since the money is accessible from Reshut HaYachid, so I'm already chayav for stealing. But it's actually on the porch, so I didn't carry it yet. So even in the case of dragging, isn't going to help you. I'm sorry, since it's all one, right? So then even when it's partly in and partly out, it's not considered that I carried it yet, but it's still accessible to Reshut HaRabim, so I would be chayav for stealing. Whereas if you say it's not an eged, then some of it is outside, so it happens at the same time. You're right. That's if I carry the purse opening out. Rabbi Yochanan could say, oh, I'm carrying it backwards. Okay, so remember when you carry it, next time you steal, to carry it backwards with the opening not out. והאיכה מקום החלמה, דיבר במפקע ושקל. Oh no, but there's a seam in the money bag. You see here, right? There's a seam, and so even backwards, I could open the seam and I could take it out from there, and therefore it is accessible from outside. And so I have stealing, but I didn't transfer it over the threshold yet, so I wouldn't be chayav for carrying. No, it has metal strips inside. It doesn't have coins inside, but rather metal bars. And so the metal bars go from one end to the other end. So there's no point at which half of the money is in and half of the money is out. And so what about the laces? You see there's laces here. Usually you tie it up and there's laces, and so I might be carrying it out, but the laces are still inside while it's outside. And then we say, no, don't worry. I made sure that the laces would be attached. Or either there's no laces or I bound them up, and so it's all one. And so to save Rabbi Yochanan, we have to assume that case is one where it's all one and I'm carrying it out, and that's why I'm chayav both at the same time. But you can't necessarily prove that half in and half was out. Otherwise, it would contradict Rabbi Yochanan. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen ve'amen.
Would it make a difference? I mean,